Okay, so this episode though we are going to be cutting out the bulkhead, which is basically a big steel frame which separates me when I'm driving with the back of the van. That's it really. But when doing a camper van conversion, it's really not that useful, so it gets right in the way. Perhaps later on, if I wanted to change the passenger seat to a swivel seat, then that's what I could do. So essentially we're cutting that out and we're going to make some more space, and it just opens the whole dynamics of the van up a little bit. Okay, so let's get outside here and let's have a look at the inside and the seats and see what we can do. I've still got to do a lot of things around here. You know, clean up all of these, clean up this. You know, look, this has even got an old cigarette butt, which is probably, what, I don't know, 10, 12 years old. That needs to be cleaned up. And then what I want to do to help clean it up is I want to take out the seats, and then I can clean underneath it and really clean this whole thing. Also means I can clean these seats because I know there's sort of some filth around here. They're just grubby, really, really grubby. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're just removing the seat. So we're taking out the front driver's seat first, and there's sort of 4 bolts underneath that seat. We're just taking that out, and then we're moving over to the double passenger seat here, and we're just going to take that out as well. And that's on a few bolts as well, and you can see. Just going to undo those first, and then we can take that out. Okay, the reason why we take that out is you can see, look at all the grime underneath. Again, this wouldn't have been cleaned in a long time, and it was an old workman's van. And then I've just gone through here with the pressure washer and just given it a real nice blitz just to get rid of all the dirt. And then in the back cabin here, you can see all these boards, and that was just to protect actually the outer and inner sort of steel work from getting damaged. We're just taking them all off. And when we take them all off, that means we're ready to work, and now we can cut out the bulkhead. What we're going to do is we're going to cut around the edge of the steel frame, so bring it out, and that's a big sheet of metal that can come out. And then what you're going to do is I'm going to change the disc, so instead of a cutter, I'm going to put a sander on it. And with that sander, we're going to go around the edge and just file all the edge around. And that'll make it nice and smooth, so there's not too many jagged edges. And then finally, after we sanded it, we're going to put some primer down. And that just protects the metal. It also sort of rust-proofs it a little bit. So we're going to get our safety goggles, and we're going to get our ear protectors, some gloves. I've just got some more gardening gloves. Some knee protectors, because it's bloody painful to kneel down all that time. Then we've got the angle grinder. This is the Makita. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm a little bit nervous, I know what you mean. We've cut out the bulkhead, so now what we want to do is we want to sand it down and prime it. And then we're going to be using these sanding discs. They're fantastic for steel, and as you can see, I've actually worn this one down a little bit already because I've used it before. We're just going to finish off sanding it, and then we can start painting and priming. So once we sanded it, what we're then going to do is we're going to use some sugar soap to clean it. So we're going to mix that with a bit of water, that sugar soap powder, and then we'll go over and scrub it down just to clean it. And then, last but not least, we're going to get this metal primer and we're going to paint it down and protect it. Let's do it. Alright, that's what we're looking for, a really nice smooth texture. So I actually left it a couple of days. In fact, I actually left it a week because this weather's been terrible. And already this had started to rust up again. So there's bits of rust on show, so that's why I've gone over it again with the sander. So now it's nice and smooth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it, and then I'm going to put the primer down, and that will protect it once and for all. Okay, so now for this bit, all we've got is the sugar soap in here, and we're just going to mix it in with some water, but it will really clean it. And then afterwards you can use either, you can even use kitchen towels, which is what I'm using, but ideally microfiber towel, and then we're just gonna dry it basically and sweep everything off, and that will A, clean up the sugar soap, B, just get rid of all the dust and the dirt and the little fragments, and dry it as well. And we're just going to do this the whole way around. I won't bore you with all of that, and then we'll dry it. Okay, so now we've sugar soaked everywhere. We're just going to wipe it down with either the microfiber towel or some kitchen towel, and we're just going to dry it and get rid of all of those little bits of steel and just make it sort of a nice clean and sort of fragment object free workspace. And then with this, what we can then do is we can put the primer down. I would just say watch out for any sharp bits. It's probably sensible if I do put my gloves back on. Let's just do that, because you do get the odd sharp bit of steel around. And then when you've done that, then you're ready to use the primer. I'm an idiot, I bought it in red. I was thinking it was clear or black, but it doesn't matter. Primer's primer, so I'm going to apply it, and it's going to go under when I put the carpet down anyway. But this is just a layer of protection. So when you're ready, you're just going to get your primer, get your paintbrush, and you're just going to coat all of the area which you've just sanded. So I'm going to do this the whole way around. And then that's just going to fully protect this now from being sort of rusty, potentially going rusty even. But for me, this is going underneath the carpet anyway, so I'm not bothered. But I do want to rust proof it, because I don't want any structural rust damage and issues later on. It's probably not a bad idea whilst we're doing this to say that you could do a couple of coats as well. So I'm going to let this dry for at least 12 hours. Without boring you too much, you can see that I've primed the whole way around, all the way around the bottom, and all the way around and up there as well. And I know it might look stupid with the red, that was just me buying red because I'm silly, but essentially it's going to do the same thing, and it's going to be hidden anyway, so I'm not bothered about the red look. It's going to be carpeted over, it's just to protect the metal, and that's exactly what that's doing. If you want, and I might do this, you might want to put a second layer down just to give it a nice proper coating, but you've got to leave it a few hours, 12 hours. But I'm just covering every bit of bare metal to protect it from rust, and then it will be good to go. Okay guys, so the bulkhead is a wrap, that is done, that is out. And if you want any of the products, then just check the description and I'll pop them in there. But again, if you're wanting to do something on a VW T4 or a van in general, and you need to cut out a bulkhead, or, which I'll do in a future video, when you need to cut out the windows, I can tell you now that the angle grinder is absolutely invaluable. So that's that for this video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. What we're going to do is we're just going to clean the front seats. They are filthy, they are really old. I don't think they've probably been cleaned in the 20 years that the van's been around. So we're going to take those seats out, and we're just going to fully clean them, and we're going to get them looking new-ish.